This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball XL Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the National League Championship Series, a series between Philadelphia and Portland. The two teams split games 1 and 2. Portland showed that they're ready for this. You know, they got that game 1 11-inning victory. Phillies got it evened up in game 2. So now we go to Portland, who has not won a home game in the playoffs, yet here we are in the League Championship Series. Sooner or later you think they'll win one. Maybe it's today. Series tied, a game apiece. Look, Portland, you win 3 straight at home. You don't have to fly 3,000 miles across country back to Philadelphia, and you go to the World Series. Really? Yeah, not kidding. Not making that up. It starts with the first victory, though. You have to win a game. Winning a game is important, and then after that you can think about winning a second or third game. Game 3 starters, it'll be Ray Burris for the Phillies. He had a nice year for the Expos in 81, 9-7, 3.04 ERA, 136 innings. Expos loaded with right-handed pitching, couldn't keep all of their righties, so Burris got away. And for Portland, in a little touch here of revenge maybe, it is Randy Lurch. Yes, the Randy Lurch, former member of the Phillies, now in Portland. In 79, he was 10-13 with a 3.74 ERA and 214 innings. Ray Burris, Randy Lurch. Let's get started from Portland in Game 3, all tied 1 apiece. Leading off for the Phillies, it'll be Larry Herndon. 65 is a K. Pete Rose, 1-9. Bounce to third. And Keith Moreland, 2-9. Grounds to short. We've seen slow starts for both teams in this series. Terry Poole, 56, pops to third. Joe Pittman, 33, pops to third. And Clint Hurdle, 67, is the sky to center. So neither team has scored in the first run in this series. Pretty interesting. Actually, first or second inning of this series. Mike Schmidt, 2-8, Ks. Big McBride, 6'10", short X. This is Verizon, 323, makes the play. And Bob Boone, 36, base hit. Mickey Klutz, 1-6, is a K. Bottom of 2, it's Bob Horner, 37, Ks. Gedman, 45, bounce to second. Lemon, 2-7, is a K. Well, folks, hope you like pitching. Getting a lot of it. Gary Maddox, 65, Ks. Larry Boa, 1-7, pops to third, and with 2 outs. Larry Herndon, 45, lines to second base. These rolls are terrible. I mean, like, nobody's going to get hits on these rolls. Milner, 49, there's a single. First hit for Portland. Gary Ward, 67, is a K. Verizon, 45, flies to right. Terry Poole, 2-5, grounds to third. Into the fourth we go. Very quick, just like game 1. Pete Rose, 37. There's a walk for Pete. Beast stealer. Gedman's a +2 arm. In their meeting they said, look, we got to start stealing bases off this guy, and they're going to attempt it. And he's in there on a 1. Not the T rating, though. That keeps Moreland out of a double play. Another reason why he attempted to steal there. Keith Moreland, 38. And that's single dot, and the Phillies have a run. That's what you do. Take advantage of a bad throwing arm. And look, Portland's not going to be perfect, right? They don't even exist. But they got a lot of really good players. You got to kind of exploit whatever weaknesses you can find. Catch your throwing arm today. Runner at first, Moreland. And it'll be Mike Schmidt. 3-10, left. McBride, 38, center. And Bob Boone, 2-5, was a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Mickey Klutz. 2-5, grounds to third base. So Randy Lurch just brushes that run off. Says, whatever. gets out of the inning, just 1-0. Bottom of the fourth, Joe Pittman, 49, double one single. Clint Hurdle, 49, single to right. 2-1, nobody out. Pittman will stay at second. For Bob Horner, 46, second X. But you don't have Wilfong today. They got Mickey Klutz playing second base for his bat against lefties. Probably not a smart thing to do in a low-scoring series. Yeah, he's a 40-37. This most likely will be, yeah, let's see, that's why you don't do that. Base hit, we got a tie game. No double play there. 1-1. Runners on the corners. Rich Gedman. 2-7's a K. I gotta bring it up now, as this is a low-scoring series. Chet Lemon, 63. Right X. McBride's at 2E4 though. 2E4. He gets a sac fly. Tough break for the Phillies. All because of the Klutz defense. It's 2-1. John Miller, 55. Flies left. We go to the fifth. 2-1 game. Gary Maddox, 67. Is a pop to first. I didn't think the Phillies were this bad against lefties. They seem eye-popping cards, but they've only scored 1 run now in 15 innings against the lefties Royce and Lurch. Larry Boa, 69, bounce to second, and with 2 outs, it's Herndon. Can we at least roll on your own card? No. 56, though, we get through on Lurch. Double 1-6, base hit. Ace stealer, I'm taking off until otherwise. He steals second base. So we have a runner in scoring position. And it's Pete Rose. Let's take a look at Pete. 1979. Oh, yeah. Welcome to Philadelphia. A .331 average. In 1981, a .325 average. In between, he slumps and they win the World Series. Go figure that one out. Here's the pitch to Pete Rose. 56 off a Lurch. There it is. Double 1-6 is a base hit and an RBI because you stole a base. So the base stealing has been key for Philadelphia just to get some runs. Oh, Rose is going to go for a stolen base as well. Oh, this is going to be close. He's a 13. Plus 2 arm makes a 15, but you are holding. That'll nip him at second. So we have a caught stealing there. Rose getting a little greedy, but we have a tie game at 2. What a series. Very fun series thus far. Bottom of the fifth, 2-2. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. Bottom of the fifth. Ray Burris will continue in a 2-2 affair to face Gary Ward. 34, third. Tom Verizor, 5'10", pops to third. And with 2 outs, it's Terry Poole, 53. First X. This is Mr. Rose, a 4E8 at first base. It's going to be a single off his defense. This is about exploitation. These teams are getting hits off of defense, stealing bases off of catchers. That's the inside baseball part of this thing. Poole, and you got Boone catching, so you don't steal. It'll be Joe Pittman. 1-4 is a K. We go to the sixth, 2-2. Be Keith Moreland at the plate when Rose got cut down stealing. 56, we've seen that roll a lot. It's that double 1-6 chance, and it's a double this time. I don't know how much further you really want to go with Lurch. I know he's pitching very well, but obviously in this particular situation, Schmidt is Schmidt. He crushes lefties more than righties, though. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. 5'11", pitcher X, E7. How about Randy Lurch fielding in his position? Nice play there. Runner holds a second for McBride. 38, center. And with 2 outs, it's Bob Boone. 1-8. Let's take a look at Bob Boone's 1979 card in Philadelphia. A .286 average, 9 home runs, -3 arm catcher. Like the Phillies really need this to go along with a 1E7 shortstop. You got a 1 third baseman. You got a 1E2 in center field. You got a 2E4 in right field. You got Mike Schmidt. You got Steve Carlton, Tom McGraw. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just an embarrassment of riches here. And yet, they're struggling here with Portland. 1-8 for Bob Boone. Homer, 1-8, double the rest. It's going to be a 2-base hit with 2 outs. And the Phillies take a lead. for the first time in the whole darn series, as a matter of fact. Mickey Klutz trying to make his bacon here with a 2-out hit off of Lurch and to hit Lurch's point of weakness. Here's the pitch to Klutz. 69, he does not. He bounces to second. So Lurch survives these middle innings, giving up 3 runs in 6 frames. He's a starter 6. He would be the weakest pitcher in this rotation, and thus far he's survived. Don't know how much longer they go with him, though. Matter of fact, with a lead, and the fact that Klutz is 0 for 3, I want to get his defense out of there. Wilfong's going to take over for Mickey Klutz now at second base. We can't afford any more of these silly singles that leads to 2 runs. Ray Burris is also a starter 6, and he will continue. He will face the dangerous Clint Hurdle. 46 is a walk. Not what you wanted to do there. Now you got Bob Horner. 612 for the third baseman. Second X, this is Wilfong. We just put him in there. A 2E20 second baseman, but you get a GBC off the 2 range. So a nice break for Portland. As Hurdle goes to second with 1 out, could have been a double play. For Rich Gedman. 45 bounces to second. Now you have a runner at third with 2 outs for Chet Lemon. 48 flies to left field. So Burris gets out of the 6th without a point of weakness, anything like that. As we go to the 7th, bottom of the lineup for Lurch. Probably will pitch through to Boa. And then when we go back up top, might want to think about going to the pen. So Gary Maddox will lead off in a 3-2 game, top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. 1-6 pops the third. Now you got Boa. 38 for Boa is a walk. The only on base in that column. That's a killer there. And that will be the one batter we need to get Lurch out of here. 6 1/3. Could continue, but Herndon crushes lefties, etc., etc. You know the idea there. So he will leave after a fairly decent 6 1/3 innings. Did give up the 3 runs. Is responsible for Boa at first. As an ace stealer, will probably take off for second as soon as we resume. Righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. Can't afford a 2-run homer in this situation. I'm going to go Jim Barr instead of Dave Ford here. Jim Barr in the 7th will come in. Again, we had him in pitching game 1, got the victory. 4.3, 3.29 ERA, 129 innings for the Giants in 82 after being a starter for them prior to that. Barr comes in out of the Portland bullpen. We'll face Larry Herndon. Herndon's a case of he's sort of the defensive replacement for Lonnie Smith unless he starts. Then he'll just play the whole game because he's pretty good against righties as well. He hit 288. So Larry Herndon will bat with a runner at first. Can't hit and run here. Have to believe Bo is going to try and steal. He will. So Bo's going to steal with 1 out. And he's safe at second. So now we're at the situation where Portland has got to figure out a way. If you want to get Gedman in the lineup, maybe get him in there as DH and let Barry Foote catch because they're exploiting you. You exploited Mickey Klutz. But anyway, we have a runner at second with 1 out and the aforementioned Larry Herndon. 3-11 is a fly ball to right, and with 2 outs, it's Pete Rose. 64 off a Barr. Third X. Oh boy. Again, exploitation. Bob Horner is still a third baseman, and he is a 4E31. Art Howell is on the bench as his defensive replacement. 4E31 at third base, and that's only an error. That's good news. That means the run doesn't score. So, no single dot dot or double. That means you got runners on the corners, have to hold Rose, probably won't steal with 2 outs, and run out of the inning. And it's Keith Moreland. Not much you can really do if you're Portland at this point except cross your fingers.
You've got mail.
Keith Moreland of Fielding. Let's take a look at his card. Yeah, he's not the Rookie of the Year. Lonnie Smith, I hope he is. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Anyway, Moreland, only the second best rookie hitter on the Phillies behind Smith with a .314 average, and also could catch, play third in the outfield. We had him even play a little bit of first base for the injured Pete Rose in game 1. Here's the pitch to Keith Moreland of Fielding. 5-10 off of bar is catcher's X. And this can score a run, indeed, because of the error that moved Boa to third. Need to get a foul out here. Again, we're pointing at Rich Gedman. He's a 3-E1. Reasonable chance you get a ground ball C or 3-E1, and they cannot do it. You cannot close the job. You get the pass ball. So that bizarre, hate to see that in championship baseball, but that is the pass ball plus foul out run after an error by Horner to create the fourth run. So what a really dismal inning for Portland. Only giving up a walk, a stolen base, an error, and a pass ball. But that's a run for the Phillies. And it's now 4-2. Stretch time here in Portland. They love their rosebuds. And we are enjoying listening to Over the Edge by the Wipers from Portland. 1983 LP featuring Doomtown, Messenger, Always Brings Bad News. Great LP by Greg Sage's Wipers, 1983. Great stuff here from Portland. Let's get back to the game. In the bottom of the seventh inning, Burris presented with a 4-2 lead. Phils have maxed out their defense. 9 outs to get. McGraw can come in. He didn't pitch in game 2. But they'll let Burris continue. He's got a little bit of a cushion now, a 2-run lead. It'll be John Milner. 58. The liner to short. Gary Ward. 68 is going to be single one, line out the rest, and he rolls it 2. Brutal pitching. Ray Burris, the killer there. Single one on a 6-8, line out the rest. Wow, this card looks better the more you look at it. 6-9, homer 1, fly ball the rest against lefties. So 2 outs now, and it's Tom Verizor. As soon as I say that, I hit his card. 6-10 is homer 1 of 5, double the rest, and that's a 2-base hit. Back up top to Terry Poole, the tie run, who has power. Could tie this thing on another 6-10 after rolling a 6-9 and a 6-10. And they're going to leave Burris in there. We're not quite to McGraw territory yet. They don't really trust Thomas Searage Drago. They're going to let Burris pitch to Terry Poole. Here's the pitch. 2-4. He bounces to short. Ray Burris. Nice job. Into the 8th. 4-2. Jim Barr continues. It'll be Mike Schmidt. 57. This guy was center field. Bake Sale McBride. 1-4, bounce to second. And with 2 outs, it's Bob Boone in there for... Oh, Bob Boone in there for himself. 36 is a walk to Boone. And now you got Wilfong. You might want to think... Let's get Barr out of here now. Let's get a lefty to face Wilfong so they don't do any more damage this inning. That's Willie Hernandez. Coming on in the 8th inning. 1-9 with a 4.42 ERA in 1980 is Willie. He'll come on in the 8th to face Rob Wilfong. Boone is at first with 2 outs. And the pitch to Rob Wilfong. 1-9 is single 1 of 15. That's a base hit. Inning continues. And now you got Gary Maddox, who's also better against righties. So Hernandez continues. 56. Flies left. Clean baseball between these two teams. No self-destruction. You know, attacking the weaknesses of the opponent. This is one of those long heavyweight battles, just bobbing and weaving. It's 4-2. Portland can still win this thing. We saw them come back against Houston, down 3 in the 9th, whatever that was. Burris pitching outstanding baseball. He's a starter 6. We can roll these guys late if they're pitching well. I'm not really overly concerned about that. Plus, he could pitch on 3 days rest in 1981. Pittman doesn't have power. Hurdle's dangerous. So we'll see how they want to play this. It's awful tempting to bring in a lefty now to get Pittman out of there and to get Hurdle out of there and then go to a righty and lefty. In a leverage game, unless it blows up in your face. Well, But the thing is, the Phillies have the ultimate fixer, which is Tug McGraw. So that's what they're going to do here. They are going to pull Burris. Let him leave after 7. He can't lose. And they're going to do this lefty-righty-lefty thing. They're going to go Ray Searage here. Ray Searage was a Met in 81. 1-0, 365 ERA in 37 innings. He is a lefty who gets lefties out. Pittman can't hit lefties very well, nor can Clint Hurdle. And Pittman will leave. This is how you have to, maybe in the future they don't, Portland should consider not batting Pittman and Hurdle back to back. And that would be a nice strategy. It would appear that you're going to go to your bench twice here with, might as well go with, let's go with Hal. Because Art Hal hits better than Hubbard. He can play second base. Art Hal will bat. Take a look at Art Hal. For the Astros in 1980, a 283 average and 10 home runs, could play all over the infield. He is often Bob Horner's defensive replacement. So Searage comes on in the 8th to face Art Hal, trying to protect a 2-run lead. Here's the pitch to Art Hal. 62 off Searage is a fly ball to left. And now you have Clint Hurdle, and he will exit. He can't hit lefties at all. And I guess we'll go with Glenn Hubbard. He's a good chance of getting a walk here. So Hubbard will come in. What this will ultimately will put Bob Horner at DH, Hubbard at second, Art Hal at third. So it's going to be Glenn Hubbard now. And if you feel like it, you can go back to a righty. Though frankly, Hubbard doesn't scare me very much. So I'm going to let Ray Searage continue against Glenn Hubbard, who hit 248 in 1980 for the Braves. Here's the pitch to Glenn Hubbard. 1-7 is a K, and with 2 outs, now you got Horner, and he's actually better against righties, and you have Gedman up next. So Searage can actually pitch the next 2 guys with a 2-run lead, and he will. Bob Horner with 2 outs here in the 8th. Here's the pitch. 6-12 off the Searage card is center X, but like I said, folks, championship defense is what you need in this sport. You got Gary Maddox, a 1-2 in center field. Yeah, good luck with that. And that's a fly out. Nice inning for Searage. And we'll go to the 9th of a 4-2 game. Willie Hernandez. It'll be Boa, Herndon. You might as well go to, well, yeah. We'll let him pitch to Boa. Larry Boa. Here we go in the 9th. 4-10, center X. And their center fielder is Chet Lemon. Great outfield defense. 1-11. Makes the play. Back up top to Herndon. That'll do it for Hernandez. You've got 2 batters out. So it will be Lockwood in a 4-2 game. Let's see if we get the final 2 outs to keep this a 2-run game. Back up top to Larry Herndon. Here's the pitch. 69, bounce to second. And Pete Rose, 46, double 1, base hit. We still got Gedman in there? Oh yeah, we do. Rose is taking off, and he's going to be safe on a 9. Yeah, he's going to be safe on a 9. So we got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs and Keith Moreland. Lockwood is good against righties. Here's the pitch to Keith. 58 is a K. So that time, one of the few times a guy who steals a base does not score. Look at that. See that? Stole a base, scored. Stole a base, scored. Stole a base, scored. Normally you're not that successful exploiting a catcher, but today it kind of fell that way. 4-2 game. Bottom of the 9th. Do you just go to McGraw and finish this thing out? First things first, you have to announce Gedman, who can't hit lefties, against Searage. Get him out of there. Go to Barry Foote. And now we're gonna go lefty to another lefty. We're not gonna go with Drago. We're just gonna go right to McGraw. We know McGraw with the screwball gets the righties out better than lefties. So we'll go Tug McGraw now. Nice little 1-2 punch. Searage can get lefties out. McGraw can get righties out as lefties, and that is proving key here with a 2-run lead. All their defense is in. Portland needs a lot of help here. It's going to be Barry Foote, Chet Lemon, Milner, and Gary Ward in the bottom of the ninth of a 4-2 affair in Game 3. Portland, like I said, they have not won a game at home in the playoffs. So, or in the divisional or league championship. They did win the wild card game against Las Vegas. I should say they haven't won a home game outside of their division. So that's the reality there. And here's the pitch to Barry Foote, leading off in the bottom of the ninth. 4-11, flies to, my eyes are right X, that was center. Fly to right X, it's a 2-4, that's McBride. A 2-4 in right field, that's a fly ball B. 1 out. Now you got Chet Lemon. 1-8, and Lemon hits a double off his card. So the tying run will come to the plate. Probably the most dangerous hitter on this Portland team. Let's take a look at him. John Milner. He's a left-handed hitting guy who loves left-handed pitching. I would guess, you know, when Fernando had his great year in '81, Keith Hernandez said, boy, you're doing a favor throwing that screwball to lefties. And Hernandez would just tag. I think Hernandez and Milner would both do well against McGraw and Fernando and all those screwball guys. So here is Milner. Plenty of power both ways. A 276 average, 16 homers and 79. Not intimidated at all by Tug McGraw. And here is the pitch. 2-9! John Milner with a double 1-12. It's going to be a base hit. That will score a run, and it's a 1-run game. Milner's a D-stealer. The bench is empty. There's nobody left. They're all in the game. And so, you've got Ward, Verizon, and Poole. And Tug McGraw grabbing on his shirt, patting his heart like he used to do as this team, you know, made it as dramatic as possible. Milner is a good base runner, though. He's a 14. He could go coast to coast on a single. And it'll be number 8 hitter, Gary Ward, with 1 out and a man at first. Here's the pitch to Gary Ward. 1-9. Let's take a look at Gary Ward's card to end this game. And this is not the first double play or the second double play he has hit in. I think it's his third one. 1-9. Ground ball, third A to end the game. We just could not get Milner practically to second base for Gary Ward, who was a D-bunter anyway. And that is a Tug McGraw-induced 5-4-3 double play to end the 4-3 victory for the Phillies. Well, that's a pretty darn good baseball game, folks. Kind of like this game. All sorts of strategies being used by both teams. You got the runs off of the Klutz defense. You had Milner getting the hit off McGraw. The stolen bases off of Gedman. It adds up to Philadelphia winning this game 4-3. They will take a 2-1 series lead now, and now they have reclaimed home field advantage. So we'll pause and we'll get you into the next clinching moment of the League Championship Series. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Well, baseball fans, here is the Game 3 you saw. The Phillies winning 4-3 in a nail-biter. McGraw getting out of it in the ninth. So that gives the Phillies a 2-1 series lead. Going into Game 4, Portland still looking for their first win at home. And in Game 4, this is another really nice game. It's Dick Ruthven versus Eric Rasmussen. The Phillies do their damage in the first. We talked about teams getting off to slow starts. Not this time. After an out, a walk, stolen base, then a single, double, single, the Phillies get 4 runs. Do they play front runner and run this thing out? Well, Portland gets a run in the first themselves on a 2-out single by Hurdle, making it 4-1. Phillies get themselves is that a Rob Wilfong homer? Yes, it is. Makes it 5-1. Here comes Portland, though. A Milner homer makes it 5-2. A ground out by Horner makes it 5-3. Then in this game, Eric Rasmussen is just seemingly the best option Portland has. He's a starter 7. He doesn't really get into trouble. All that damage done in the first is not going to taint him from going the distance. So he does go into the 9 innings 9 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks, and 2 Ks. But the story is that Dick Ruthven pitches into the 7th inning, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, and the Philly bullpen is the big star as once again Ray Searage comes in, this time with some help by Dick Drago, and McGraw gets the final 2 outs. This Philly bullpen, just 1 hit, no runs or walks. And they preserve a 5-3 victory for Dick Ruthven, and the Phillies have stormed, I guess you could say, well, they've been close games, but they've gotten 3 straight wins after dropping Game 1. And they scored a run in any of the first 9 innings of Game 1. This would have been a sweep. But in any event, the Phillies are up 3-1 in very competitive 4 games. As we are live in Game 5 of another one. Another competitive game. Game 5, Steve Carlton, no decision in Game 1. Jerry Royce, no decision in Game 1. And here we are in Game 5. Remember, Portland still has yet to win a game at home. Mike Schmidt, 2-run homer in the first. Are they going to rely on their Hall of Famers to get to the World Series? Schmidt, it's a 2-run homer. But Portland's got an answer. Bottom of the 4th, Horner, 2-run homer. And then in the 5th, after a Milner triple, Glenn Hubbard, 2-run homer. And just like that, lefty blows the lead. It's 4-2. But in the top of the 8th inning, after a walk, I got to go back here to the bottom of the 7th. So innocently enough, after 2 outs, Terry Poole, the great 1-0 right fielder, gets injured on this roll, so he has to come out of the game. The only other outfielder they have is Clint Hurdle, who's a 4-12. So what do you think happens, folks? You're right. After Pete Rose gets a triple, Keith Moreland rolls right field X off of Clint Hurdle. That should have been an out off of Poole, but it's a double off of Hurdle. Really tough break for Portland. And though Skip Lockwood comes in with runner at second and gets the next 2 batters out. So the game's tied, and that's where we're at here, folks. It is a tie, 4-4 affair. Royce is gone as that defensive double hits the point of weakness. Lockwood's in there for the home team. Lefty is still in there, still with a chance to pitch his Phillies into the World Series. He was given a 2-0 lead, and he blew it. And he's pitching into the 8th inning now of a 4-4 affair as we take off here in the bottom of the 8th inning to see if Portland can send this series back to Philadelphia or if Philadelphia goes to the World Series. Leading off in the bottom of the 8th, it is Art Howell. 68 off lefty is a walk. Chet Lemon. 212 pops to short. Bob Horner, the big homer earlier. 53 right X. This is Mr. McBride. He's a 2-4 in right field. Makes the grab, and with 2 outs, it's Barry Foote. 310 for Foote is going to be a base hit in the center. Hal is not going to run out at third base. So now it'll be John Milner. You saw him get the big hit against McGraw earlier. He's scored on a triple in this game, reached on an error. He's got runners at first and second with 2 outs. John Milner against Steve Carlton. Here's the pitch. 4-4. Catcher's card. We got Bob Boone, though, 1-3 catcher. The inning's over. Well, just like Game 1, that was scoreless. This one's 4-4 into the 9th. Lockwood, relief 3, will make him max out his innings as this team is on the ropes. Their season could be coming to an end right now, today. So Bob Boone will lead off. On the Philly bench, you could be aggressive on the Philly bench, as you have some really good. You got Gross and Lonnie Smith and Mickey Klutz on the bench. If you wanted to, you could do it right here. You know that the Lockwood's really the best pitcher Portland has. So I think they're going to do, I think the Phils are going to be a little aggressive here. They're going to go Gray Gross. The lefty pinch hitter will bat for Bob Boone, which means that Keith Moreland will have to come in and catch. So Portland can run, if that even matters, by the time they come up and swing away. So Gray Gross, let's take a look at him again. 79, 333 hitter, and 174 at-bats against Skip Lockwood to lead off in the 9th. Here's the pitch to Gray Gross. 57 is a K. which means the Philly defense got worse. Gary Maddox. 3-7, single 1-18. He lines out on a 20. A huge break for Lockwood. And with 2 outs, Larry Boa. 52. Flies to left field. We'll let Lockwood go 1 more inning. Carlton will go 9. You can break him with 2 batters. His catcher's gone, replaced by Moreland. We'll see if that matters. Glenn Hubbard will lead off. He had the homer on his own card in the 5th. 5-10 is a walk. Remember, Portland still looking for their first win in the divisional championship round here at home. Last chance until the World Series. Can you imagine if a team goes to the World Series without winning a game in their own park? Anyway, the winning run is at first for Tom Verizor. You could do a hit and run here. B to C. Oh, what the heck? I mean, you're an expansion team. We're going to have a Tom Verizor hit and run off a lefty. It's 4, so it advances the runner. So Hubbard's at second with 1 out. Back up top. By the way, Clint Hurdle is on deck, and he has to bat. So it's Gary Ward. You have a chance to break Carlton. You have a chance to win this game with a runner at second and 1 out. So here's the pitch to Gary Ward. 47 is a K. And with 2 outs, it is Clint Hurdle. Boy, this injury really reshaped the end of this game to Terry Poole. That's how big, these key moments are. Clint Hurdle, let's take a look at the card, though. He's not that bad against lefties. Obviously, a .329 hitter destroying righties. We have Hubbard is a decent base runner. He'll probably run. So if you get a single chance, you're going to try and win the game. So here is the pitch to Clint Hurdle. 2-4 is a sky to right field. We've got extra innings. It means that once again, lefty goes 18 innings in 2 starts. As you have to get a decision, this is going to be Lockwood's final inning. Wilfong, Herndon, Rose, Moreland. Here's Rob Wilfong. 2-7's a K. Back up to Herndon. You could get Lonnie Smith, but again, like we did before, we like the home run chance Herndon brings you. 1-10 and Herndon with a base hit. Now he's an ace stealer, but you got Barry Foote in there with a -1 arm. Pete Rose. He's going to swing away. 2-7. Let's take a look at Pete Rose's 79 card. He hits .331. His first year in Philadelphia. 2-7 is a base hit into right field. Herndon's a 15 runner. Do you go coast to coast against? Oh boy, though. Interesting turn of events. Clint Hurdle's got a -2 arm. Terry Poole's was +1. So advantageously this time for Portland is your outfield defense. Herndon will stay at second. He probably runs against Poole. You have first and third with 1 out, but he's going to jam on the brakes at second as Hurdle can throw very well. First and second, 1 out. Sets up a potential double play out of Keith Moreland, who is your catcher. And here's the pitch. 48 off of Lockwood's a K. And that only brings up the MVP. Mike Schmidt has 2 home runs in this series. Hasn't done a lot else other than these home runs. Big moment for Mike Schmidt. And this is the breaking batter for Lockwood in his 3rd inning of relief. The pitch to Mike Schmidt. 57 and Lockwood strikes him out. And he will leave after facing 2 2/3 innings. Lefty is gone. Bottom of the 10th. Boy, folks, every time Royce and Carlton match up, we go extras. Hal Lemon Horner Foot. Sounds like a righty. I think Philadelphia, up 3-1. We haven't seen Roy Thomas in this series yet. Roy Thomas will come on in the 10th. Roy was a Cardinal in 1979. He was 3-4 with a .292 ERA in 77 innings. He comes on in the 10th. You do have Joe Pittman and Gedman on the bench. However, you still have a lefty available to the Phillies. I don't like the idea of Hal leaving the game. No, Art Hal will bat here, leading off the bottom of the 10th. Pitch to Art Hal. 48 is a base hit. Now you have Chet Lemon. 2-4, center. Bob Horner at the big homer earlier. The pitch to Bob Horner. 38 is a sky to center, and with 2 outs, it's Barry Foote. You could bring in Gedman, but no, they're going to let Foote. He has plenty of power both ways. 35, Barry Foote. Let's take a look at the card for Barry Foote. 79 was a Cub in one of his best years. 16 homers and a .254 batting average. Here he is with Portland. 3-5 is a double to left field. It is Art Howe. You got to run. It's 10, 11, 12. Herndon can throw. Herndon's got a -2 arm. It's going to be a 10 shot. It's a coin toss to win a game at home for Portland. We'll look here at advance. The plate. He is out at the plate on a 15. Oh my. Heartbreak for Portland, trying to win a game in extra innings. Art Howe gunned down at the plate by Larry Herndon. The inning is over. Tough break there. That is a shame. My goodness. We will continue into the 11th inning. What do you do if you're Portland here now? You have run out, you lost your closer, your best pitcher. You got McBride, Gross. I think you just got to go Willie Hernandez here. Yeah. In the 11th inning, Willie Hernandez, and I think you're just going to have to, yeah, he's a relief 3-5. You're going to let your season go with Willie. I don't see a reason to go to Barr or Ford as the Phillies. Of course, the Phillies could pinch hit for Gross, who pinched hit for Boone with Lonnie Smith. But anyway, Bake McBride will lead off in the top of the 11th inning of a 4-4 thriller in Portland. The pitch to McBride. 2-3 grounds to third. Now you have Gray Gross. I got to do it. I got to go. Yeah, I got to go get my guy. Yeah, Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith's going to bat. He actually has power. Hernandez is not very good against lefties. In the extra inning game of Game 1, they had an option to bring Lonnie Smith in as a pinch hitter, and they did not. Now they are against a lefty. Much better against righties, but still pretty darn good against lefties. Hernandez is bad against righties. So with 1 out, it'll be Lonnie Smith. 56 is a sky to left field, and with 2 outs, no defensive changes. This is all batting for DHs, batting for DHs. It's Gary Maddox. 45. Bounce to second. Nice inning for Willie Hernandez in the 11th. Philadelphia will just roll with Roy Thomas. John Milner leads off in the bottom of the 11th. 2-10 for Milner's a base hit. Now you got Glenn Hubbard. Pitch to Hubbard. 37's a walk. You got 2-1, nobody out. Verizon, you got a bunt here. B. Bunter. It's not. Oh, wait a minute. It is good. Whew. Just by a whisker. B. Bunters. Roll of a 9 is barely good. A. Bunters. Roll of a 10. Barely good. So, fortunately for Verizon, got it down, putting runners at second and third with 1 out. They're going to bring the infield up for Gary Ward. Here's the pitch. 3-7's a K, and with 2 outs, it's Clint Hurdle with a base open. You could walk Hurdle to pitch to Art Howe, and you may as well. Smart move there. So they're going to walk Hurdle, but Art Howe, a walk here to Art Howe wins the game. But Art Howe, let's take a look at Art Howe's card. You see, not particularly good in 1980 against righties, but they do have one more trick up their sleeve, and that is daring Philadelphia to bring in McGraw in this situation, face Joe Pittman, which if I'm the Phillies, I'd probably do that to keep this game going, but that, yeah. You know what? No, they're going to let Art Howe swing away, and the rationale is that a walk by Art Howe on 1-8-9 or 3-10 wins the game. So Art Howe will swing away against Roy Thomas, who's a relief 3, so there's no danger of breaking here. No great shakes for Roy Thomas. He's put 5 men on, for Pete's sakes, in 2 innings. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch to Art Howe. 1-7 is a strikeout for Art Howe. That's a hit for Pittman, a walk-off single. But it doesn't happen. The Phils are getting the breaks, beginning with the defensive replacement there. That's 2 innings for Roy Thomas so far. We go to the 12th inning. Willie Hernandez will continue. It'll be Larry Boa. 3-6 is a grounder to short. Number 9 hitter Rob Wilfong. 4-10 center X, but you got Chet Lemon out there. And with 2 outs, back up top to Herndon. 2-6 is, let's take a look at the Herndon card. We know he hits lefties well. Well, we did not expect a triple chance in the 2 column for a guy with 288 and 81 for the Giants. Larry Herndon, 2-6 is triple 1018, so he gets it. And now it's Pete Rose. You have a choice of Rose or Moreland or Schmidt. Oh boy. How about walking Rose and then with the righties coming up, go to Jim Barr? As Rose a switch hitter, he's got an advantage over Hernandez. They're going to walk. Potential walk worked for last time for the Phillies. Now the Portland's going to do it. So Rose gets walked. Actually run down to second without a throw. Second and third, it's Moreland. And that'll do it for Willie Hernandez, who goes an inning and 2/3. With 2 outs in the top of the 12th, it will be Jim Barr. Take a look at Jim Barr here. 82, he was 4-3 with a 329 ERA, 129 innings for Giants. He's also relief 5. So Jim Barr comes on in the 12th inning to face Keith Moreland. The only guy left on the Philly bench in this one, by the way, is Mickey Klutz, who would only come in against maybe Dave Ford, who's bad against righties. Anyway, the pitch to Keith Moreland with 2 outs in the top of the 12th. 1-10 is a single chance. It's single 1 is 6. Line out to short. He rolls an 8 and lines out. So Barr gets out of it. We go to the bottom of the 12th. Roy Thomas, relief 3, starter 6. He will continue. He's put 5 guys on in his 2 innings of work. Hasn't killed him yet. Chet Lemon will lead off. 3-6 is a walk. They've got the leadoff man on every darn time. Bob Horner, who homered earlier. 47 off Roy Thomas. A base hit to center field. Lemon, are you going to do it? No. Not against the -200 Maddox. Now you got Barry Foote. Do you indeed bunt? He's a D-bunter. You got Pittman and Gedman on the bench. You got to go for a win here. So Pittman is going to pinch bunt in this situation. He's a B bunter. He comes in as a better bunter than Foote to bunt to get second and third with 1 out if possible. The pitch to Joe Pittman on the bunt. It's a 6. It's good. You got runners at second and third. You're going to need a catcher. Let me see if Gedman can hit lefties if they bring him raw. But I'm trying to think if I want Gedman to swing in this instance. No, we'll just take Pittman out, put Gedman in that spot as catcher. Catcher, pinch hitter, and catcher. Bench is gone now. You got second and third and 1 out. You got a base open. You got John Milner and Glenn Hubbard. Roy Thomas, though, 30 inning relief. You can break him if you get on with a walk. So the infield comes up. Portland seemingly giving a million chances to win this game. Second and third, 1 out with the infield up and the pitch to John Milner. 69 off of Roy Thomas is a sac fly to center field, and there it is, folks. A walk-off sac fly scoring Chet Lemon, and at long last, we can say it, Portland has won a baseball game in their home park in the playoffs. How about that? 11 2/3. Jim Barr got that final out, will get the win. And the final score is 5-4. Roy Thomas takes the loss. Jim Barr gets the win. We'll have the box, and we'll take you to the next elimination game as Portland has pulled within a game. It's now Phillies are up 3-2 as a series will go back to Philadelphia. We'll see you in a bit. All right, sports fans, here is the box score of the game, the end of the game you just saw, where Portland, this is what of course I do in extra inning games, so I can identify which pitcher did what. I have to color code, make it easier to score. Carlton again, 2 no decisions in the league championship series in 18 innings in 2 starts, 4 runs allowed. Royce 4 runs allowed. Skip Lockwood was really the star, 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 5 Ks. Roy Thomas barely survived with 4 hits and 3 walks in 2 2/3, finally surrendering the sac fly. So that puts us in a game 6. And something special's happening here in game 6, folks. Let's go right to it. Back to game 2 starters. Jim Beattie for Portland. Eric Schall, who threw a shutout in game 2, looking to become the MVP of the league championship series. Let's take it to the 2nd inning. You get a walk by Schmidt, a Moreland single, a 2-run double by Rob Wolfong, RBI single by Boa. It's 3-zip. In the 3rd inning, Gross singles with 2 outs, Bate McBride triples, and these Phillies are back to doing their old things again. In the 4th inning, you get a walk, a ground out, runner at second with 2 outs. You could intentionally walk here. You have your choice of 330 hitters you want to face. Lonnie Smith hitting 339, Pete Rose hitting 331, and Greg Gross hitting 333. It is Lonnie Smith who gets the RBI single, then is caught stealing. That is all of the scoring because look what we got going here, folks. Yep. 18 up and down for Eric Schall. Thus far, he is your League Championship Series MVP. But as you've been following me, many times when I come into these games in the 7th inning, suddenly the offenses go berserk. So that's what Portland has to hope for here. In the top of the 7th inning, it is 5-0 Philadelphia, 9 outs to go to a World Series, and Tug McGraw is a relief 3. So you have to imagine that Eric Schall can't lose this game. He would be pulled before then. He does have a perfect game going. I don't think they're really, if he loads the bases and he still has a shutout, I don't really think they really care too much about him getting a shutout. They're trying to win this thing. So we're back up to the top of the 7th inning. We'll spin the tumblers here in the top of the 7th inning of a 5-0 game. Portland came back against Houston, facing elimination, down 6-3 to get to this series. They got to do something far more difficult today and tomorrow if necessary in a game 7. Terry Poole leads off. Step 1, 52. Can you get a hit? Pop to 3rd off the Schall card. Chet Lemon. 3-6, and there goes your perfect game. It's a walk. Now you got Clint Hurdle. 1-5, and like I told you, folks, forget it. You got no shot. When I reboot this thing in the 7th inning, you're just going to get a cascade of offense. Let's look at the Hurdle card. Again, he destroys righties. 1-5 for the 329 hitter is gone. And you know what, folks? I know what you're thinking, but I'm not sitting around or taking this one. I am gone with Schall. 6 1/3. Gives up the 2 runs immediately in the 7th inning of a 5-2 game. Got to do it. I just got to do it. You just have to beat Tug McGraw. And that's how it's going to play out. So Tug McGraw is going to pitch until the arm falls off here in Game 6. I ain't waiting around in Game 7. Tug McGraw is going to come on in the 7th inning. He's a relief 3. He needs to get 8 outs. An 8-out save. And it'll be Bob Horner stepping in, who's better against righties anyway. And here's the pitch to Bob Horner. 64 off McGraw is short X, and that's Boa. This is championship defense here by Boa. And John Milner, the most dangerous hitter in Portland's lineup. You'd like to think John Milner would get 2 at-bats against McGraw in this, but he might be running out of time, and this might be the only one. So here's the pitch to John Milner. 56 is a K. That does not forebode very good things. Stretch time here Back in Philadelphia for Game 6, the fans are happy. They've got McGraw on the mound and a 3-run lead. We are enjoying MFSB, their 1975 LP. Universal Love featuring Sexy. Let's KG, My Mood, all sorts of fun stuff here by MFSB. Love has no time or place, that's what she says. Bottom of the 7th. Philadelphia has already brought in their defense as Shal was flirting with a perfecto. So Herndon's in the game, Boone's in the game. The Philly bench consists, I believe, just of Mickey Klutz again. So that means that Lonnie Smith is gone, and it means that Keith Moreland is gone. Jim Beattie, again, he's had a rocky start. He put 2 guys on in the 6th. Lockwood pitched a ton of innings in the previous game. Probably have to beat Beattie by the point of weakness to get him out of there because he's a really good pitcher, and they really need him to hang in here. Down 3 in the 7th. It'll be Larry Herndon. 55 short X. This is a Verizon, a 323 at short, and that's going to be a single. Tough break there. One of the things that Portland has done today, to get the extra left-handed bat in there against Shal, Gedman's the DH. Barry Foote is the catcher, and immediately in the first inning, Lonnie Smith got thrown out stealing here and here. So that strategy did work. However, in getting Clint Hurdle into the lineup, you put his defense out there, and that happened giving up a double here. So actually, the reining in the base stealers was great, but defensively you also gave up runs there. So it didn't really work out for Portland in this one. They'll find you. They'll find your weaknesses in a championship series. Anyway, back to this. Larry Herndon singles. Pete Rose, we could do a hit and run here since we haven't been successful stealing outright. So Rose will do a hit and run. Moves the runner to second base. For Gross, here's the pitch to Greg Gross. 1-4, flies to right. And with 2 outs, it's Mike Schmidt. 65, skies to right field. Not bad for Beattie. He gets through 7, but 5 runs allowed. Into the 8th of a 5-2 game. It'll be Barry Foote. 45 off McGraw, double 1-6 is a base hit. Now you have Gedman. Interesting call here. Let's take a look at the Gedman card. So Rich Gedman, he hit .288 in 1981 for Boston. He had a good 1984 as well with 24 homers and a -2 arm. McGraw is really good against righties. You might just want to swing away with Gedman here and take advantage of maybe getting a hit off the McGraw card. You got to do something. You're down 3, and so Gedman's going to actually bat here with a runner at first. Here's the pitch to Rich Gedman. 57. You got McGraw's card, but it's a strikeout regardless. Now you got Pittman, and we're going to take him out. He's not very good against lefties. 2-run homers, which you really need here. We'll go with Art Howell. Yeah, we'll go with Art Howell. He has more hits on this card than Hubbard. Plus, Howell can play second or third. So Art Howell will bat with 1 out here in the 8th inning. The pitch to Art Howell. 2-5 is a 6-4-3 double play. That's all McGraw. Tug McGraw there. 2-5 for Pittman is a fielder's choice, and 2-5 for Hubbard is a fielder's choice. Tough break there for Portland. 5-2, bottom of the 8th. Beattie. Oh boy. Let's go to Willie Hernandez in the 8th again. Or no, let's go Dave Ford. He's a righty who gets lefties out. Yes, Dave Ford was a Baltimore Oriole. At 80, 1-3, 4.24 ERA in 70 innings is Dave Ford. He will come on in and try and get these lefties out. McBride and Wilfong in this inning. Big McBride. 69, skies to right. Bob Boone 1-4, grounds to short. And with 2 outs, it is Wilfong. 2-8, bounces to third base. Okay, so here it is, folks. Tug McGraw in the 9th. You need 3 runs, but you got to get 3 base runners to break McGraw.
You got
in a
mail.
championship moment. And by the way, this pretty much means that McGraw probably won't be available in Game 7 should the ridiculous Portland team come back and win this thing. It will be number 9 hitter Verizon, Poole, Lemon, possibly Hurdle or Gary Ward. If there were runners on base, you'd have to think Gary Ward would bat. So it'll be Tom Verizon leading off the 9th. 68 off McGraw's a fly ball to left. Back up top to Terry Poole. Left-handed batter does okay against lefties. 48 off McGraw is a single chance, but not a good one. It's single 1 or 2, line out the rest. It's a line out the rest. You know, it's funny, now that I think about it. I remember that Tug McGraw, his ERA for the Mets was 170 back-to-back years. 71 and 72. But McGraw, now his ERA is 147. Technically might be better. I don't know if he's better now than he was with this card. Or let's flash it up on the screen again. Tug McGraw, you tell me, folks, is he better here in 1980 or is he better with the Mets? The problem with the Mets is that the lefties could tag him a little bit. He's devastating versus righties. I think McGraw was much better against righties with the Mets, though. Here he's kind of more even Steven, I guess. Any event, it's just a precursor here to a championship moment for the Phillies. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, do the Philadelphia Phillies go to the World Series? The batter will be Chet Lemon. And here is the pitch. 67 is a strikeout. McGraw throws his glove up in the air and they mob him as the Phillies do indeed get to the World Series. They'll have some days off to rest McGraw. This is what you do in a championship moment. You saw a double play by Boa in this one, or out by Boa in this one defensively. You saw Schmidt. You saw McGraw. All the valuable pieces a championship team needs against an inexperienced Portland team that's very good. All 6 games were very competitive and close, but Philadelphia had the answers in 4 of the 6 games and only lost 2 extra inning games. So Portland was unable to beat the Phillies in 9 innings in this series, but it was still pretty fun to play. That's it for Portland. That's a shame, folks. Well, you got to see an expansion team, how far they could get, and this might be it. Probably one of the best performances by an expansion team in this timeline. McGraw gets an 8-out save. Gave up a hit and 3 strikeouts. Eric Schau, does he get to be series MVP? Getting 2 of the 4 wins. It was a close series. I don't think any particular Philly hitter really tore it up. So, sure, let's give Eric Schau the series MVP. He only gave up 1 hit in this game, 2 runs, and a walk, 2 strikeouts. So that's 15 and a third innings, 2 runs and 3 hits. So let's make Schau the series MVP. Dave Ford came on in, just pitched a 1 inning. Tough series loss for Jim Beattie. He's a pretty good pitcher, but Phillies knew how to handle him. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. 1019, 0108, 51022, 1522, 2215. Game number 6 is in the books. It was pretty valiant. We'll set up the Phillies' next battle. We don't know who they're going to face in the World Series. It'll either be the Expos or the California Angels. A couple interesting matchups in either one of those. I believe the Phillies and Expos played in '81, and the Expos won. So, Phillies are now 26 and 16. Portland, 24 and 17. 487 games into this thing. Portland finishes their season hitting .282 with a .387 ERA. By the way, Skip Lockwood finishes the year 2 wins, 11 saves, 21 and a third scoreless innings, 4 walks, 26 strikeouts. That is one of the best relief appearances we have ever seen. Jerry Royce had 7 wins and 3 complete games. 40 RBI for Bob Horner, plus 54 hits for Horner, 54 for 172. 314 average. I believe he hit 314. The Phillies go to the World Series. Not that surprising that they would get there. They are loaded. Cherry picked from all 4 seasons, it seems. It just worked out that way. By the way, Tug McGraw, if you've been watching this earlier on in the Fall League, you've seen him struggle. And he's not out of the woods yet. His numbers aren't particularly good, but that was a fabulous appearance by Tug McGraw when they needed him the most. He's currently 2-3 with 9 saves in 23 innings, but he's given up 15 earned runs. So he's still having a subpar year. I mean, he's got a 5.87 ERA, folks. So he's still got work to do. Makes you think, though, the more he pitches, the lower that ERA will get. As things tend to even themselves out. You know, lefty is 7-2, but I got to look at Eric Schau and Ray Burris. Together, they're 12-4. Doing a very nice job for this Philly starting staff. Mike Schmidt, is he the league MVP? We'll find out at the end of the season. We'll do the awards after the fact. He's got 13 homers and 40 RBI, though, for the Phillies, who are 26-16. 294 average and a 4.01 team ERA. We'll go right to the rotations here. There is no Game 7. We'll delete that, and we'll delete that. We know Portland is done. And the Phillies will, Portland is done. We know the Phillies will continue. They can come back to Carlton. A day off, a game there, no game there, a day off there. That's 3 days rest, so Carlton can pitch Game 1 of the World Series. Good news for them. Schau cannot pitch Game 2, though. They're going to go with Burris. We know Carlton will pitch Game 4 and Game 7. So, I think they'll go Schau in 3 and Lurch in the other one. Or Ruthven in the other one. Lurch pitches for the other team. And Burris would pitch. So that's how they're going to do it. They're going to go Carlton, Burris, Schau, Carlton, Ruthven, Burris, Carlton. And Steve Carlton will have 3 starts in the World Series. We set this up so that in the World Series, the ace theoretically can get 3 starts. So that gives Philadelphia a big advantage in this thing. Don't know who their opponent will be. It'll be either the Expos, Bill Gullickson and the Expos, or Dave Frost and the Angels. One of those teams will represent the American League in the World Series. That's it tonight. Break up the Philadelphia Phillies. They outlasted Portland 4-2. Thanks for checking this out, folks. We'll see you next time.